Hello everyone, welcome to Soulfly Styles. My name is Sofiyat. So in my last video, I did a tutorial on how to draft the pattern for this bustier blouse you're seeing on screen right now. And I promised that I am going to show you guys how I pad the bust area before I release the sewing tutorial. So today's video is going to be on how to pad your bust area. That is how I do my own bust padding. So if this is something you would like to see, do well to stay with me till the end. And if this is your first time on the channel, do well to like, share, and please subscribe. Thank you so much for stopping by. And if you would like to see how I drafted this pattern, do well to check the description for the link to the video, or just click on the link that is showing on screen right now. And to all my returning subscribers, thank you so much for your support. I appreciate you all. So without wasting much of our time, let's get started with today's tutorial. As you can see, I've gone ahead to cut out my pattern on fabric. I added all my sewing allowance on fabric. There is no sewing allowance on the pattern paper. So on this side, I added 1/2 inch for the bust area on fabric. So what I'm just going to do now is to cut out the material for the padding. So to pad this bustier, we are going to be using a material called wadding, and I'm going to be showing you two types of wadding that are available in the market. I think there are like more than two, but these are the ones I used to see. There's the light one and there is this thicker one. So I use the thicker one anytime I know that I am not going to cage the bust area. But if I'm going to cage the bust area, I go for the light wadding. Okay, so for this tutorial we'll be using the thicker wadding because I do not plan to cage it. So on the center front of the pattern paper, I have my nipple line, I have my underbust line here, and I have my waistline, then the blouse length. So from the underbust, go up by 1 inch. The maximum you can do here is 1.5, but for this tutorial I did just 1 inch. After that, use your French curve to connect it into your underbust line like this. Can you see? So now I'm going to maintain the pattern paper like this for the height of my padding or for my wadding because it's a 2 blouse. It does not have shoulder. Assuming your own blouse has shoulder, to know the height of your wadding, just measure nipple to underbust, then project it upward. Your nipple to underbust measurement, then measure it upward from your nipple up to get the height of your wadding. I hope you understand what I'm saying. So now I'm done with the center front. Let's move to the side front. So for the side front, remember I did a bust dart. So the bust dart is still closed. So the closed part is still going to be my nipple line. All right. So that line you're seeing that is then paper tape on it is my nipple line. So for this part, you are going to need your nipple to side measurement. So to get your nipple to side measurement, first of all, you need to wear a good bra, a bra that is your size. It is not big, it is not smaller than you, it is your exact size. Then you are going to measure from your nipple to the side of your bra. There is a wire on the side of your bra. There's a wire on the side of your bra. I hope you can see from the picture you're seeing here. Just measure from your nipple to the bony, that bony. I don't mean that straight line, no. I mean the one, your bra wire. Yes, measure from your nipple to that side. So whatever you have there, you are not going to measure it from here to the side. But now, let's now say after you measure your hole on your body, by the time you put it on the pattern paper, it is getting to the very end of the pattern paper. All you have to do is from the side, go in by 1 inch or 1.5 inch at most. Okay, from the side, go in by 1.5 inch or at most, or just 1 inch. Okay, then that is where your own wadding will stop. I hope you understand it. Once you get your measurements right and you put it on your pattern paper like this, just take your French curve to draw out a nice curve. I use this measurement when I want to do a cup corset too. So it is important that we know how to measure it. If you use your French curve and it's not giving you the nice shape that you want, you can just go in with your free hand first. Then when you get it with your free hand, then use your French curve to draw the perfect shape that you want. Okay, so since it is just wadding, you can draw it. Like if you don't get the perfect shape, you can still go away with it. But if you are making a cup corset, you have to get the shape right. But that is a topic for another day. Cup corset is not the topic for today. So today we are just padding our bust. So go in with your French curve once you get it right with your free hand and draw it smoothly. So right now I am done with the pattern for this wording. All I have to do now is to transfer this to a separate paper. The reason why I'm transferring to a separate paper is because I don't want to cut this pattern because I might still need it, So I want to cut out the pattern for the wording on a separate paper. So when you put them together like this, make sure you have at most or at least 1 inch separating the two pattern paper, because we need to add ½ inch sewing allowance to our cup side. I hope you understand what I'm saying. So make sure you have at least 1 inch separating them when you put them together like this. So once you pin the two pattern papers together, you will need to add ½ inch sewing allowance to the pattern, to this side of the pattern. So now if you did ½ inch on your main fabric, you would have to do ½ inch for your wording. If you do more than ½ inch, then you have to do the exact amount of your sewing allowance that you did on the main fabric. I hope you understand what I'm saying. So for me, I did ½ inch. That is why I'm doing ½ inch for this as well. Okay, so draw your shape. Once you had your sewing allowance, use your French curve to draw your shape neatly. So this is the only part of the pattern that we are going to be adding sewing allowance. Okay, we are not going to add it to any other part. It is just this part that we are going to join, this part of the cup. Okay, so once I am done like this, I'm now going to take my tracing wheel to trace out the shape of the cup that I have drawn. Okay, just take your tracing wheel to trace it out. Make sure you press your hand on the tracing wheel very well so that the mark will show at the end, at the other side of the paper. Don't know if you understand what I'm saying. One other important place that you need to use your tracing wheel on is your nipple line. Okay, your shoulder to nipple point measurements, the line. It is very important. Make sure you have that line on your wording pattern. Okay, so just use your tracing wheel to notch it out, then you use your straight ruler to trace it out. As you can see, after I did all this, the tracing wheel left mark on the plain pattern paper. So I'm just going to use my scissors now, my paper scissors, to cut out the pattern following the points. So right now I'm just using my pencil to note the up, the down, and my nipple line because I don't want to mix it up. Okay, so make sure you label your pattern before you cut it out completely. So after this, as you can see, I already rule out my nipple line so that I don't mix it up. I need that nipple line so that I'll be able to notch it when I'm done cutting the pattern out on the wording. Okay, so right now I'll cut it, then I'm going to bring out the wording so that we can cut out the pattern. So I'm going to be starting with the center front, and the wording, it has two sides. There is the shiny part and there is the dull part. The shiny part is the one that has gum. So when I'm folding, the shiny part will be inside, while the one that is dry or look matte will be outside. I hope you understand. So the right side of the wording is the shiny part, while the wrong side of the wording is the one that is not shiny. So I folded the wording into two like this, and I'm going to place the center front of the pattern on the closed edge of the wording. Okay, so and I'm going to take my scissors to cut out the pattern exactly. I'm going to cut out exactly what I have on the pattern. I'll set the center front aside, then fold the wording again to cut out my side front pattern. All right, so after cutting the two pattern out like this, I'm just going to go ahead to notch the nipple line on the center before I forget. So notch your own as well. So right now it is time to gum this to our main fabric. Now For the main fabric, notice that I added stay. I've gummed stay to my main fabric, so you can do that too. And I put the stay before I cut out the fabric self. So use your chalk to notch your bust line on the main fabric. Then to gum this thing, I'm going to be using hemming gum. Now you can use hemming gum if you like, or if your own wording is okay, you may not use, totally optional. But for me, I like to use hemming gum when I'm doing it. So when you are placing your wording on your main fabric, make sure that the nipple line you notched on your wording aligns with the nipple line you notched on your main fabric. Okay, that is why I kept saying that you should notch your nipple line on your wording, and you must have notched it on your main fabric as well. Okay, so when you are using your hemming gum on this thing, make sure the hemming gum did not get to minimum of half-inch sewing allowance on your fabric, like the half-inch part. Make sure the hemming gum did not get there, because if you get there, don't worry, I will explain to you later. But make sure that the hemming gum did not get to that half-inch sewing allowance we added to the wording. It can be just small thing in the middle. It is just for you to secure your wording to your main fabric. Okay, so now I am done gumming it. And to gum it, I will advise you to use steam iron. Steam iron does a better job. Okay, steam iron does a better job. So I use steam iron and everything is totally fine, and my clothes did not burn, because to be honest, wedding can be difficult to attach on your main fabric. That is why I decided to use hemming gum to gum mine. Okay, so now that I am done gumming the wording on it, as you can see, I'm just going to trim off the excess wording that picked out while I was ironing. So this is a normal thing in case you experience the same thing. So just use your scissors to trim out the excess and make sure you did not cut your main fabric. Okay, now you can re-notch your fabric before you go ahead and join it. So after joining and ironing, this is what it looks like. As you can see, it is looking firm, like the cup is standing strong. Can you see it? So thank you so much for watching my video. See you guys in the sewing tutorial. Bye.